Patek Philippe is launching an exceptional quadruple complication for haute horlogerie enthusiasts, elegantly integrating a patented split seconds function with the chronograph mechanism, in addition to the instantaneous perpetual calendar and minute repeater functions. This reference was initially launched in a platinum version at the Grand Exhibition in Tokyo in June 2023. Let's quickly describe the face of this timepiece. It features white gold Dauphine type hours and minutes hands with a blue metallized coating, a sweep seconds hand and a split seconds hand in the center in white painted stainless steel, along with two counters, a 60-minute counter at 3 o'clock and a 12-hour counter positioned at 9 o'clock. Small seconds with a blue metallized coating and a moon phase indication appear at 6 o'clock. The day, date and month of the perpetual calendar appear in 3 apertures with blue metallized white gold frames, arranged along an arc between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, including a slightly larger aperture for the date. The applied hour markers are also in blue metallized white gold. The leap year cycle aperture is positioned in the 60-minute counter, and the day-night aperture indication is in the 12-hour counter. The white gold case features the minute repeater slide piece at 9 o'clock. Now let's return to this new movement. Our intention was to add a split seconds function based on the self-winding caliber R CHR 27PSQI that has powered reference 5208 since 2011. We will go through the adaptations made to this new caliber, paying particular attention to the addition of the split seconds function and the 2 patterns. We will also come back to the operation of the instantaneous perpetual calendar and the minute repeater function. Let's first look at the challenges we took on from an energy standpoint. The split seconds function consumes about the same amount of energy as the chronograph hand, so consumption is doubled. Therefore, we had to increase the amount of energy delivered compared to the base movement by adding an augmented NevaFlex barrel spring. This enables us, by reducing the core diameter of the barrel arbor, to make the spring thicker and increase its strength. These technical developments have allowed us to maintain the same 48-hour autonomy as the caliber R CHR 27PSQI, but with an added split seconds hand. A platinum micro-rotor was a natural choice for winding this augmented barrel and minimizing the impact on the thickness of the movement. If one compares the 2 calibers powering references 5208 and 5308, one notes that this new caliber is only 1.93mm thicker. As far as the case is concerned, the diameter is still 42mm, while its thickness has increased from 15.11mm to 17.71mm on this new model. During this presentation, we will successively detail the split seconds function placed under the chronograph module, the instantaneous perpetual calendar, as well as the minute repeater mechanism beneath the base plate. Patented ultra-thin lifting lever device. Now let's take a closer look at this split seconds function. In general, for all traditionally built chronographs with a horizontal clutch, we need seconds friction to suppress the stuttering of the seconds hand. With a horizontal clutch, activating the chronograph function places the chronograph wheel in tension with the seconds hand via the clutch wheel. Without this seconds friction, this indirect meshing would cause a parasitic movement called stuttering. To remedy this issue and to tighten the gear when the chronograph is running, friction must be created to eliminate this issue. For this new horizontal clutch chronograph, we have eliminated the friction spring on the chronograph wheel by creating a patented anti-backlash clutch wheel, fitted with spring blades, which halves this function's energy consumption. Moreover, in order to have a split-seconds function that consumes as little power as possible, we have equipped it with a new patented isolation of the split-seconds hand. Now let's look at how the split-seconds mechanism works. The chronograph is running. The user presses the split-seconds pusher, which will activate the control lever and move the split-seconds column wheel one notch forward. The split-seconds hand is then stopped, and the user can easily read the intermediate split time. We have developed a patented isolation of the split-seconds hand that holds the lever so that it is no longer in contact with the heart of the split-seconds hand, resulting in almost no energy consumption. Let's see in detail how this patented lifting lever device works. It has been developed to eliminate energy consumption when the split-seconds hand stops during reading of the intermediate time. It has the advantage of not adding any extra thickness, and this enabled us to keep the overall movement as thin as possible. The lifting lever clamp is composed of two parts, placed under the split-seconds clamps. When the split-seconds clamps stop the split-seconds wheel, the lifting lever clamps concentric with the split-seconds wheel lift and isolate the split-seconds lever. Let's take a closer look at the stopped split-seconds mechanism to better understand how the clamps and lifting lever device work. The lifting lever clamps lift the split-seconds lever from the heart, eliminating all friction, resulting in no energy consumption. Since the clamps do not cover the entire split-seconds wheel, we have added an intermediate lever fixed to the split-seconds wheel to enable this lifting and isolation at any time. The perpetual calendar serves to show the date on a given day by taking account of the 29th of February in leap years. The distinctive characteristic of an instantaneous perpetual calendar is that all the information jumps instantly at midnight with a tolerance of plus or minus 2 minutes. The jump is so swift that it is impossible to see it with the naked eye. Developing this instantaneous mechanism requires a system that stores energy throughout the day and releases this energy at the time of the jump. However, the accumulation of energy can mean the surplus could generate additional jumps when it is not released if it is not contained. For this new model, we have employed the anti-double jump system, initially developed for the 5208, for each indication: day, date, month, year. Let's take a closer look at the accumulation of energy and then its release at the moment of the jump. Throughout the day, a first spring is armed, then its role is taken over by a second spring, which stores a maximum amount of energy without exerting additional force. At midnight, the main lever drops onto the month's cam and identifies the notch corresponding to the given month to ascertain the corresponding number of days. This instantaneous drop enables the main lever to turn the day's star wheel as well as the date disc to move on to the following day, as well as moving the day and date forward when the month changes. The date disc has a notch into which a pin attached to the month's lever drops onto the last day of the month. The month's lever thus seeks out a tooth of the month's star wheel in order to move it on to the following month. For the year jump, the lever spring is armed throughout the year, and on December 31st, the year star wheel is driven by its lever to change the year. Now let's see our mechanism as a whole at the time of the jump. The main lever drives the day star wheel and the date disc, as well as the month star wheel with the help of the months and the year's levers. Now let's see this at real speed. As said before, the stored force can generate a surplus of energy that would cause unwanted double jumps. We have thus installed an anti-double jump system for each function. Let's take a closer look at the year's function. The back of the tooth of the year's star wheel is blocked by the year's lever, meaning there can be no double jump. Let's now look at how the mechanism catches up the missing days for the months of February and 30-day months. The months lever picks up the information on the number of days of the current month from the month's cam. The rack then takes up the correct position based on the number of days of the current month. It comprises 4 echelons corresponding to the durations of the months with 28, 29, 30 and 31 days. This rack is driven by the release cam and controls the angle covered by the main lever. The greater the angle, the smaller the number of days in the month. The largest angle will thus occur for the months of February with 28 days, and the smallest angle for months of 31 days. Every day of the current month, the main lever covers a bigger or smaller angle according to the number of days of the current month. Upon reaching the last day of the current month, the month's lever drops into the notch of the date disc, and when the main lever falls from the release cam, it returns to its initial position. At this moment, it drives the date disc by the number of missing teeth to display the first of the following month. Now, let's see a jump from the 28th to the 1st. The pin fell in the notch 4 teeth before the first of the following month. And for example, for a 31-day month, the pin falls into the notch 1 tooth before the first. As its name suggests, this movement also has a minute repeater, serving to chime the time on demand, striking on 2 classic gongs. Let's listen together to the chime of our Quadruple Complication minute repeater, split seconds chronograph and instantaneous perpetual calendar at 12:59 p.m. The inertial governor regulates the chiming mechanism to maintain a constant tempo throughout the chime. It comprises 2 arms, fitted with inertia blocks, that move apart or retract according to the force transmitted to them by the strike barrel, breaking or releasing the unwinding of the strike barrel mainspring. Indeed, at the start of the chime, the fully wound barrel releases a surge of energy that without an inertial governor would cause the chime to start fast and slow down as the energy supply diminishes. The flywheel therefore smooths the winding of the strike barrel, ensuring a constant tempo from start to finish. With the introduction of this quadruple complication, designed for collectors and high watchmaking enthusiasts, Patek Philippe takes its offering of grand complications to the next level with an exceptional timepiece that celebrates both the great watchmaking tradition and innovation through two patented advancements.